One thing that you talked about earlier is this physical, mental, and digital environments. Maybe this is something that we can look into a little bit. And my first question would be, you've mentioned a little bit of the projects that you're working on, but why are design and mental health are so closely related?
Oh, okay. This is a great question for you to ask me because my concentration at my university is kind of focused around this. And so I'm going to have to eventually explain it to professors later on and like justify why it is like that I'm studying all this stuff and like why it makes sense. So I think design, specifically good design, it's focused on building objects, places, and all these other things that are meant to be functional and to add ease to someone's life, or to add a little bit of joy or perhaps inspiration to someone's life. And I think there are similar themes in the realm of mental health, right? Like mental health is this pursuit of wellness and happiness and ability to navigate challenging times. And I think there's a lot of overlap between design and mental health, because it's always, I think both things are the pursuit of something that feels good or that looks good or that is overall of good quality, basically. And I really hope that makes sense in other people's head and not just mine, because to me it's like so clear and evident. But I don't know if I'm like articulating it super effectively. So let me know if I should describe it better.
So basically, I understand that you say, okay, for design and also for mental health is basically the pursuit of the good or something that may feel good, or that you create an environment with design, or that you create a design that helps your mental health because it feels comforting, because it feels good, because you feel comfortable, because you feel fine with that. And then your mental health is going up with that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I think on a much more like objective physical level, design, for example, like the design of infrastructure and like roads and buildings and all of that is actually pretty evidently tied to mental health, because the structure of a city um, can or cannot be conducive to one's well-being, because it can encourage people to be more physically active by building more sidewalks, for example, or making cities much more pedestrian centric rather car centric. And that in turn makes people a lot more active and increases the chance that they'll bump into someone and maybe start a conversation. And so it encourages more socialization, which can boost your mental well-being and make you feel more connected to your community. And so I think these really basic things like buildings and roads and parks are actually super obviously tied to the well-being of an individual and to the mental well-being of individual. I wrote multiple papers my high school year and my freshman year at college all about how urban green spaces impact their visitors' mental health. And I basically analyzed Domino Park in Brooklyn and also the High Line in Manhattan. And I took a look at all of these different elements that they had, such as the different artistic sculptures that were installed in the parks, and how like the colors and the actual shapes can impact how people feel, and how like the color red can make someone feel like anger or something like that, whereas this other color could make someone feel calm. So just by looking at that structure and also walking through this park that's covered in different types of greenery and all this nature, it can make someone feel a lot calmer in cities that typically cause a lot of stress to their inhabitants. And so to me, it's all so interrelated. And I think what I'm fascinated more by the infrastructure of mental health rather than tackling mental illness once that's already like become or tackling mental illness directly. Basically, like I'm much more interested in how do we change the systems that exist today so that we can help people live better lives, because right now I think the way that so many residential areas are designed, they're designed to basically make people fail in terms of their health and their happiness. And I want to reinvent all of that and make it easier for people to live healthy, happy lives, because it shouldn't be this difficult. You shouldn't have to be going to therapy twice a week and getting on medication and all of this stuff. I mean, therapy is great. Actually, I'm a huge proponent of therapy, but still, it's a lot that our capitalistic systems are asking of or people to pay such large sums of money to obtain healthy food and to obtain like medical assistance and all of this stuff. Whereas if we just made cities have all of these elements naturally, like innately, then people would be much less focused on how do we fix what is wrong, and much more focused on how do we just like make our community even better? How do we work on these like creative things, or how do we do this and this? You know what I mean? Like, because I think so many people's lives nowadays are just consumed by fixing problems that are caused literally by the societies that we live in. And so if we just design better societies from the very beginning, people wouldn't have to focus and devote like 95% of their time and energy to all of that stuff, and could instead focus on evolving themselves and being better community members.
So if you like that, make sure to check out the full-length episode here and leave a subscribe. Thank you.